Mpenzi mtazamaji, hujambo na karibu katika makala ya The Football Slip. Draw ya dimba la hadhi barani Afrika, dimba la CHAN. Hatimaye tunajua makundi manne, nani atakutana nani katika michuano ya makundi. Hapo jana Manchester United nusura tuletonge mdomoni, punda afe lakini mzigo ufike. Baada ya dakika 90 na zile kidogo za nyongeza, Amad Diallo akaokoa Manchester United. Manake kitumbua kilikuwa kimeshaingia mchanga, so kwa hivyo Manchester United wametoka katika nafasi ya 15 hadi nafasi ya 12. Ni makala ya The Football Slip. Mitandaoni tunakuuliza kauli fungamana na mchuano kati ya Arsenal na Aston Villa. Tunakuuliza mpenzi mtazamaji, Arsenal is playing Aston Villa at the Emirates. Can Aston Villa stop Arsenal's title push this weekend? Arsenal is playing Aston Villa at the Emirates this weekend. Can Arsenal, let me take that again. Robbie. Wajua nimezoea zilizala, sasa lazima ni hariri. Alafu ndio ni Arsenal is playing Aston Villa at the Emirates this weekend. Can Villa stop Arsenal's title push this weekend? Talk to us on X at Hassan Juma. Robbie's R_Kenya at Dennis Otachi. SMS is 22151. That SMS is 22151 and just free. SMS is 22151. We're dwelling on Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Au sio? Sema nasi tutapitia nafasi zenu papa hapa mbashara. Mechi 10 ambazo tunaziangazia weekend hii kwa haraka tu. Mechi 10 ambazo tunaziangazia weekend hii. Ligi kuu ya taifa tunaangazia mechi 3. Kariobangi Sharks dhidi ya Ulinzi Stars, City Stars dhidi ya Wanabenki KCB na Wanamvinyo. Mchuano mtamu sana, mchuano babu kubwa huu. Manake wote ni vigogo wa hivi majuzi kitambo sana. Wanamvinyo Tusker FC dhidi ya mabingwa shikilizi Kogalo Gor Mahia. Alafu ligi kuu ya Uingereza pia tunaangazia mechi 3. Newcastle watakuwa kwa Kiamboni dhidi ya FC Bournemouth. Arsenal katika uga wao wa Emirates. Uga mzuri sana, manake ni uzuru kwa menda tembea usio. Dhidi ya Aston Villa ndio mchuano ambao tunaangazia katika mitandao ya kijamii. Alafu Manchester United at home against Brighton. Alafu games mbili za Syria, Juventus against AC Milan, another big game. Atalanta versus Napoli, another very big crack of a match. In Germany, we are focusing on 2 matches: Frankfurt against Borussia Dortmund and Stuttgart versus Freiburg. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm joined by my friends, my colleagues. Of course, we fight a lot when it comes to, especially the EPL. I don't like them because we fight a lot. Cedric Musumba.
Yes, Hassan.
You're good?
Very much okay.
How's the week been for you?
It was nice. It was nice. And also so happy to
It was nice. No. Group A.
We'll be getting into that. Before, there's something I want to ask you, Cedric.
Yes.
Last week when we were here on the show, Hassan alisema he was willing to put on the Arsenal jersey.
For Manchester United.
No, there's a condition though.
Yeah. No, I'm speaking to Cedric.
Okay, fine. But Hassan is here.
Oh, you're Cedric.
No, you're talking about Hassan with Cedric.
But that's something that you said.
Yeah, I agree.
You sworn actually.
On condition, there's a condition.
No, you are ready even to take
the Arsenal jersey.
Exactly.
There's a condition though. Why are you guys not talking about the condition?
No, you know, when it comes to a team that you die for, there's no condition that actually limits you from going by your words. And your words were like, regardless of whatever, you were even ready to change whatever that you had told us earlier before. You remember?
Condition that Arsenal
So no, let me tell you something interesting. Yes. After Arsenal equalized in that match, Hassan called me and said, "Wallahi, Friday, nikivaa jezi ya Arsenal." Tell me, how are you?
Pretty much okay.
Good to have you here back. Cedric Musumba, of course. Before we even get to recapping the week, there's one big match that we spoke about last week. That was the El Clasico that was being played in Saudi Arabia. Barcelona got a massive 5-2 win against Real Madrid. And in 2 games, man, 9 goals they've scored against Real Madrid. What's not happening to your favorite team?
You know, I tell you what, and today actually I wake up today in the morning on a very sad news according to me. Even the team and the players that I have known in that particular team, that match has started sacrificing some of the best players that according to me, that I think they should be living with that team and they are helping that team. Because I remember now Real Madrid is contemplating of maybe loaning out or selling out Tchouaméni.
Yes.
And anyone would say that Tchouaméni was actually a utility player in that particular team. Going by how he played in that particular match should not be one of the reason why they should be thinking of now selling him. I know somebody, I think is one of the fans was like saying, don't actually sacrifice a player given that whatever you thought of an El Clasico did not come to your fore. Tchouaméni has been there for Real Madrid and has done wonders. And everyone knows has been playing off the position.
He even came back earlier before he recovered from his
right
injury.
now they are thinking of selling him. And you see what will happen to that particular team? You sell a utility player, those reason as in the disadvantage that has been befalling the team, they will come back and you will need that player to come and seal that particular player, which will not be there again.
Shtemi, Manchester United at Emirates last week in the FA Cup. Of course, Aita Bendir was the man of the match, and in doing so, Arsenal was knocked out on penalties. What is your assessment before we recap the week?
I think I talked earlier about that, about both teams lacking clinical finishes, and it came to pass because I'd said initially that one boy, that is Diallo, the man of the moment, will definitely play a key role in most of the upcoming Manchester United matches. And looking at what happened at Emirates, definitely it was the goalkeeper against Arsenal, and actually he played his hearts out and ensure that indeed Manchester managed to get that very vital victory that definitely going to be like a turnaround for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. And you know, you need to give kudos to Amorim because he gave trusted to the goalkeeper, the new goalkeeper, at the expense of Onana, and indeed that faith was rewarded. And you know, getting 2 penalties, saving 2 penalties in the same match, that was historic for that FA Cup. And I believe now that confidence has taken them into their next match that was against Southampton last night. And also that is how they managed to win it at the end of the game. But definitely what both two teams tried to show us was that indeed, yes, you can have that creativity, but at the end of the day, you need somebody to score those goals. On the other side, it was Kai Havertz, and then on Manchester United's side, it was the usual suspect, that is
Bruno Fernandes creating the chances.
Bruno created and scored, yeah. But now Rasmus, as usual, he was a pale shadow of his former self. But I believe that confrontation, that match, at least gave us the past rivalry between the two teams.
Yes, Hassan, you know, on Wednesday.
Tim is a good man.
No,
but it's just analysis.
On Wednesday, we were with Rogers Shtemi at the CAF draw at the KICC grounds. I've never seen him that smart. He was in a suit and tie at the KICC grounds.
And even
No. Why is lying public?
No, it's true. I came across those images and I even gave Robbie some kind of call. So I'm just trying to assume if you are the same Shtemi that I have been dying. Because you are looking somehow different and not different on the bad side of you. Because you're so sharp, as he says.
You could think it's the FA.
But I was the VVIP. Wasn't I saying?
You could think he's the CAF president.
You know the CAF president is not around.
Yes.
You see, what Shtemi did, I think the banner of journalists, you really uplifted that to a different level. You see the essence of setting the bar very high, so that even next time, if it comes to this kind of event, you are now telling the likes of Hassan and Robbie to start putting in that kind of.
And you know, I'm really glad. Hold on, Sebi. Hold on.
What did you say?
Juma, to justify that, actually, I saw the legs of Robbie were just crawling and fighting to get that photo moment with me. And you know, I was able to give them that moment.
No, you see, the thing is, we wanted a picture with you because it's rare to see you that way. So let's recap the week, how the week has been. Let's quickly run through that. Remember, earlier this week, Chan 2024 being played in 2025 was postponed. We'll be coming back into that in a bit. Aside from that, we had the Chan 2025 2024 draw being held at the KICC. Kenya, of course, being put in Group A, which is the group of death. We'll be talking about that in a bit. Let's move from that. And Erling Haaland has been given a 10-year contract by Manchester City. So which means his contract is running to 2034. Wow, 2034. Eshtemi, briefly, what do you make of this?
115 charges, then 10-year contract. Anyway, they're learning it better from Chelsea, because Chelsea have been signing players for the long-term contract.
Yes.
But you know,
Jackson has a 10-year contract.
Yeah, it is limiting the efficiency of the player, because he'll go back to the comfort zone, because knowing exactly that I'm not going to push and or maybe try to give more as expected, because they have a long-term contract. But maybe at the club level, they are feeling if they give him a short-term contract, he can leave when they need him most. But I think there should be some limitation in how these players are tied to this contract. Because
you see, Eshtemi, they are actually, as you have said, they are actually facing challenges with the outcome of the ban. Regardless of whatever that will become of they can be maybe be banned out of signing. It's better you start locking out, as in locking in your player.
But it will be to disadvantage of a player like Haaland. Maybe by that time, most of the key players have left. Now he'll be only Haaland trying to struggle with the
most
academy
of the best players
players.
are above 30.
Yeah.
Can I sum it up?
Yeah, sure.
Can I sum it up? Now that mtu wa mlima hayuko. Manasema nini? Mimi naita Haaland.
2034. No, it will not be old. It will actually be 2034. It will be 34 years old. It will not be actually still. It will be playing.
And you look at the Man City kind of record. Actually, it has been releasing their player at that particular age. The likes of Kyle Walker, 33, 34.
But for striker,
Okay, now that you mentioned Kyle Walker, Dennis, can we go to Kyle Walker? I mean, yes. Earlier this week, Pep Guardiola said that he's requested to leave, and Manchester City is letting him go. He's been one of the weakest links this season for the citizens. Now let's move away from Kyle Walker. Let's move to other players that have been making headlines this season. Arsenal, they are the kings of London. They got a win against Tottenham Hotspurs in the North London derby. Everybody was waiting for this match, and Arsenal, as usual in this fixture, did not disappoint rather. Let's move away from the North London derby. Let's get to one man at Goodison Park. Moyes began his tenure as the coach of Everton by losing to Aston Villa. He could not even believe his eyes what was happening on the pitch. Let's move away from that and we move to Manchester United. Yes, mafans wa Manchester wanafurahi sana.
Hapo sasa.
Ni furaha ilioje. Wanajisikia.
There is a touch.
Yes,
honestly, Robinson, how can you compare Manchester United performance with Arsenal performance?
Manchester beat Arsenal.
But that was a derby. That was a derby.
Yeah, it was
and
a derby. Eshtemi,
you are second page team comparing title, chasing title.
Eshtemi, Arsenal played Manchester United for more than 70 minutes, while Manchester United had 10 players.
But which type of Arsenal was that?
It's Arsenal. It's not the type of Arsenal.
But now, let's
Cedric,
go.
Cedric.
The table doesn't lie. Let's go on the EPL table.
But
No. You battle with important things.
It was a fair.
Important things.
Manchester United.
You can't mix the two. I mean, we're talking about the EPL, talking about FA.
Manchester United with a 3-1 win against Southampton in the FA Cup. Let's move away from that. Of course, Manchester United fans are always, in cloud nine at the moment. And former Manchester United manager and former Manchester United striker Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has joined Besiktas, in Turkey. So it means we will be facing off with former Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho. Very, very interesting. Let's move away from that and we take a look at some of the biggest games this weekend. Arsenal at the Emirates will be taking on Aston Villa. Remember, Aston Villa is the team that made Arsenal not win the league last season. So we'll be waiting to see how that unfolds. We move away from that. Let's get to the other biggest game of the weekend. Napoli will be taking on Atalanta. Yes, very, very interesting game in Syria. We'll be delving into this later on in the show. So these are the big games of the weekend. But I want us to get into the CHAN draw that happened this week. Deno, let's take a look at the CHAN draw. And remember, Kenya, even before we take a look at the CHAN draw, Deno, see the CHAN draw, Cedric Rogers Ishtemi, CHAN was postponed. It was supposed to begin on the 1st of February to the 18th of February. CAF came out a day before the draw. They said, you know what, this tournament, we are pushing it back to August. Sedo, What do you have to say about the postponement?
There are so many things, factors actually surrounding that particular kind of decision. Remember also, the likes of South Africa and Egypt, they are supposed actually to have their decision actually made if they to play so that they can see if they are joining the Chan Pack. But that has not actually come to up to now. They are still needed that at a particular time, and also they are citing the kind of the favorite kind of timing vis-a-vis the planning of Chan. This Chan was not supposed to be played this year, if you remember. It's a Chan that was supposed to be played last year.
Yeah.
So the organization that is going around and so many kind of the parameters that are affecting teams that are supposed to be participating in this might have actually influenced this particular decision. Second is what is going around the infrastructure. Remember, Kenya is lagging behind. Even if we are not being told that it's all about this infrastructure, we can't be playing in an infrastructure.
Do you believe we have the best infrastructure so far?
They are not the best. The current Kenya, what current Kenya has at the moment is not the best. But if it allowed, whatever, those 6 months from now, 7 months from now, it's good enough, quite enough actually to amass and put them into the best condition.
Dennis, let's hear what the Cabinet Secretary for Sports had to say about Kenya not hosting, rather the tournament being pushed back to August.
Huo ni umbea kabisa na fitina. Kwa sababu hata ukiangalia taarifa ile ilipeanwa na rais wa CAF, hakuweka lawama kwa nchi yote. Kwa hivyo kama kuna mtu ana fikra hizo, tutazipuuzilia mbali kwa sababu ni umbea na fitina. For the first time, this is a very big celebration for Kenya, and is a big celebration for soccer, you know, in Kenya.
Cedric, the CS for Sports says that it's not that the tournament was not pushed back because of Kenya. Yeah, what do you there?
Yeah, of course, as we live in Kenya, Ruby, we visit this infrastructure. We see what is happening there. Whatever he was doing actually is for media and management of the entire image of the country. For those people who might also want to use those clips outside Kenya. But here we know at Nyayo Stadium, even those floodlights, they have not been amassed to the standard that CAF or FIFA may require it.
Your brother was at Nyayo yesterday.
Yeah, we played there. Those masts are just erected, but they haven't been installed, those particular lights.
Ashtemi, you were at Nyayo Stadium yesterday. Yeah. Are the lights working?
I think we are waiting for them to be launched to see if they are working.
Wait, you want us to launch lights?
Yeah, but we keep on doing some things. They'll be launched.
Why are we launching lights?
So that people can believe indeed they are working. Because, right now in Kenya, if the citizen doesn't use their own eyes to see, then definitely it's not working. We have been pushed to that scenario whereby maybe with a lot of maybe some lies and maybe propaganda that indeed something's working and yet it's not working. And talking about Chan, actually, it is a moment whereby we also need to look ourselves into the eyes and say, have we done justice to this country? And for the period that we got the rights across the region, that is Pamoja Bid, that is Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, in 2023, what have we done since then? Because actually, I think 1.5 years or so, we have done totally nothing. Now we are waiting for the tournament to come closer. That's why we run helter-skelter, trying to make things look like an emergency, trying to put up this and this. But at the end of the day, we had funds to make this thing happen. So I think the extension of 6 months, we are going to be so serious about this scenario, because if by chance we don't do it, this is a second chance that we need to take it by both hands and ensure that we host these things as a super class.
We were together when we were interviewing the FUFA president, that is the Ugandan Football Federation, that Moses Magogo, and he said for them everything was ready. The Tanzanian president said for them everything was ready.
Actually,
when we spoke to the CS for Sports, he said that for Kenya everything was supposed to come to a completion today.
What? Sorry, Stephen. I feel sad for Uganda and Tanzania because when you look at their infrastructure, when you look at the investment in this particular tournament, they've done a lot to ensure that as a hosting country, they are up there. It's unfortunate that Kenya is not ready. I mean, when you talk to so many African friends out there, they tend to look at Kenya as the big boys within the continent. So we are lagging behind.
But you see, we have allowed this country to catch up with us. Tanzania has been testing their infrastructure in these tournaments like CAF and everything. We have seen them actually being Ivory Coast coming to play in Tanzania. We have seen in Uganda, as we have played even in Uganda. Those are the tested infrastructure. We are talking about the Kenyan infrastructure that has never been tested. You want to test, put them to test on a tournament. What if they fall on you during that particular tournament?
You know, actually, it saved us big time the embarrassment that we'll have seen when the tournament goes on, because try to see those cameras beaming the ongoing construction as the match goes on. You know, it's just an embarrassment. And
the
I think,
VAR.
And
this is a tournament that needs VAR. Those are high-end infrastructure. I mean, Robbie, look at it at the time that maybe a game is to be played, and then at that particular time the VAR system goes down.
There was talk of Rwanda replacing Kenya at some point.
Gentlemen,
it couldn't.
This conversation of postponement will not finish it. Let's go to the groups. Let's take a look at the groups after that draw. Kenya is in Group A together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia. In Group B, we do have Tanzania, who are the co-hosts, alongside Madagascar, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, and Central African Republic. In Group C, we have Uganda, two other teams that are yet to qualify, and Niger and Guinea. And then in Group D, we have the defending champions, that is Senegal, as well as Congo, Sudan, and Nigeria. Now, let's go back to Group A. Cedric, everybody's saying Group A is the group of death. Do you think so?
You know why I like it that way? One, we have been living in denials, we as Kenyans. We always go
today
out.
You came ready.
No, Robbie, this thing is written all over the world.
Yes.
When we go outside there, maybe in a hall or town hall or whatever to watch our games, we sit down as if we are the best.
Yes.
We castigate even the likes of soccer. We talk shit of them when they make these silly common misses in the game of soccer. But now we have given an A kind of a pool whereby you need to go ahead and beat Morocco if you want to go to World Cup. Prove to us that you can host the likes of Zambia and DRC in this particular group. If at all you want to host Africa Cup of Nations and trade all along to quarterfinal, even find yourself in final.
But can we do so with the mentality of Mapinduzi Cup?
Shtemi, before we get
the football gods are just
we go
against
there,
us.
Dennis, I want us to listen in to what the captain, that is Kenneth Muguna, had to say about this group.
The draw is on, and I think the most important thing is the pool that we are in, that is Group A. I think it is a self-motivating pool, and I think when our players see such kind of teams with a which are high profile, I think as trainers we have less work to do, because the mental aspect, the players will be on it. And I think it will be also a good starting point, because when you maybe you play a team like Morocco, then again I think it's a good kickstart.
Group iko poa. I think these are the kind of matches that kila mchezaji ana dream kucheza. So we just hope anybody mwenye atapata hiyo opportunity ataenda pale nje ku represent Kenya proudly, and we know that we can do it.
Unaona ni kama hiyo group itawafanya bring out the best kutoka kwa Stars. Well, that is Harambee Stars midfielder Kenneth Muguna speaking, as well as assistant coach John Kamau speaking after that draw that was done at the KICC grounds in Nairobi, where Kenya was drawn in Group A alongside Morocco, Angola, DRC, and Zambia. Yes, Cedric, before I cut you off, we were talking about how Kenya showcased themselves on the pitch in Mapinduzi Cup, vis-a-vis what we should expect here.
I know Mapinduzi actually was a team to ascertain or assert if we were quite ready for CHAN, now that we were so much not quite sure if it will be postponed. And I was so, if I may say, I wasn't so ready up my mind that team was the ready team to represent Kenya. Remember, when it was about to leave this particular space to Tanzania, I did tell you that team was just assembled for the
we had that conversation here.
But the result that actually it was presenting there, vis-a-vis the kind of caliber of player that team was supposed to face, was not something actually to come back and give us the result. Remember, at some point, we did actually even talk that the Kilimanjaro that was playing against Harambee Stars is not the same Kilimanjaro that was to come to CHAN. So as to be so proud that we ended up beating Tanzania, that was not a hogwash. That was a Tanzania that Kenya should go ahead and beat. So I think what Musepe has done to us, he has given us a very vital space to assemble a good team. But now the ailing bit of it, if you ask me, at what particular point will we be getting this player? In the same league? than ailing league that cannot even feature into the top 20 Africa-based league in the continent. A league that is nowhere under the CAF if CAF happened to assemble even the top 10, and it's facing teams that are featuring in the top 10. We're talking about Morocco. Morocco is second in Egypt, after Egypt, in ranking of the league. And if you go by their league, even the Moroccan team can challenge even Real Madrid. They have been in club World Cup.
This
clubs.
year, clubs from Morocco will be in the FIFA Club World Cup.
Exactly.
Yes.
And those are the kind of the player that you are going to face. Robbie, mark my word, if we don't prepare well, Morocco will be coming. If Morocco comes actually here to play Kenya, here to grace on our ground, it will be actually here to pick like 10 goals. Picking 10 goals behind the Kenyan net.
But
Eshtemi, how will you prepare?
Eshtemi, today you had an article on the newspaper that, mixed reactions on Kenya being placed in the so-called group of death.
I think I'll justify what Sedo said. Indeed, we are claiming to be a group of death. We are just putting pressure on ourselves. But, all this boils down on preparation. What strategies have you guys put up to ensure maybe you go to the next round and eventually maybe go deep into the tournament? Looking at the strategies we have, first of all, we have to ask ourselves, in terms of technical bench, do we have a stable technical bench as we speak? No. Why? Because all those guys who are there, they're interim. But the other teams are coming with technical benches that have been there for a while, and they know the type of players, the type of philosophy they are going to take to this particular tournament. So for us here, we are trying to guess this thing. I don't know how soon or when they're going to confirm a head coach, because as we speak, Kimanzi is the interim coach, maybe after the exit of Ferrat. But now it's up to the federation. Ensure these players are well motivated. Let's have a strong technical bench. Let's have a fair selection of players so that, well, if we bring out these players onto the pitch, they can at least give these fans something to smell about. Remember, Kenyans are ever demanding fans. So if these players and the federation don't live up to the bidding, they'll be crucified. Remember, the government is doing everything, is providing everything because the federation has the goodwill of the government. So it's up to them to bring up players, bring up the technical bench that ensure that indeed they can provide good football against the best. It's good to play against the best in Africa so that we can gauge ourselves ahead of 2027 AFCON. This team that will play at Chan will definitely mirror what will happen in 2027.
Let's focus on the 10. I wanted to comment on the disadvantages on my ears. Let's go on. Anyway, let's move on from AFCON to Angalie social media. We were focusing on Arsenal versus Aston Villa. The match will be played at Emirates. Let me read a few of your comments here. A bit of feedback on 22151. Arsenal hapo hawana lao tena. Villa kichwa. Nicolo from Bungoma hapo Muskoma. Collins from Langa City of Eldoret. The game will end in a draw 1-1. Alafu mwingine akasema Arsenal will win big. Alafu mwingine Arsenal imechangamkia hiyo tayari. Arsenal will win 2-1. Another one, Arsenal will win big. Wajandika majina yenu. So today our focus is on Arsenal versus Aston Villa at the Emirates. Let's look at the 10 matches before we take a break. Arakaraka too. These are the 10 matches. K-Sharks, Karamangi Sharks against Ulinzi Stars, City Stars against Bankers KCB, Tusker against Godmaya, Newcastle against Bournemouth, Arsenal will be at home, the Emirates against Aston Villa, Manchester United against Brighton at the Old Trafford, Juventus against AC Milan, Atalanta against Napoli, Frankfurt against Borussia Dortmund, and Stuttgart against Freiburg. Those are the 10 matches that we are focusing on this week. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll dissect much more. Don't go away.